Hello there, I am Baron Bones, and today I will be discussing Scream 7. And I am sorry for getting this video out a little late. I had some technical difficulties, and, well, I couldn't get this video out until just now. I know I'm behind, but let's just go right into the movie, shall we? So, Scream 7 is the latest movie in the Scream franchise, and is directed by Kevin Williamson, the writer of the first two Scream movies. And this time, we follow Sidney Prescott once again, played by Neve Campbell. This time, she has a family and is living happily in a small town, until a new ghost face killer emerges. But is this one a new killer? Or is it someone returning from her past? So, yeah, we have a new Scream movie! Yay! Before I go too far, let me just say this right off the bat. I am not the Scream franchise's biggest fan. I never really got into the first movie, and after that I felt like all the other movies were just standard slasher fare for the most part. Not bad, just nothing of note. That's why I never did a review on them. They're just nothing I really can talk about. There's not that interesting. I didn't understand the meta jokes that a lot of people said were in there. I felt the film lacked a little bit of an identity. If it was trying to be funny, it wasn't very funny, and it very much wasn't interesting enough to be taken seriously. So I really just couldn't get into the franchise as a whole. That being said, I did like the last two installments, generally enough, so I was okay looking forward to the seventh movie. Then I realized that Sidney Prescott was going to be our main character again. Now, I know the reason why for this, and I will not discuss that reason on the channel because I'm going to avoid politics. That being said, I do not like Sidney Prescott as a character. I have never really enjoyed her as a character. I felt she was fine, but the movie franchise never really used her effectively. The most effective she was in the second movie, and that's because she was lacking trust. She didn't know who to turn to. But the movie never really made full use of that idea, and as a result, wasted a lot of potential. This time around, she's an overprotective mother, understandably so, and, again, has some trust issues, but not enough to really be interesting. And Neve Campbell, at this point, I feel like she's tired of the character. She does alright in this film, but there are times where she just comes off as, really? We're doing this again? And I understand that feeling because, to be honest with you, I think this franchise has well overstayed its welcome at this point. They really haven't been able to come up with anything interesting. And this movie showcases that, as the ideas it tries to put on forth to us is not that interesting at all. And the meta-commentary is only there because the film needs to have meta-commentary. Otherwise, it has no reason to be a Scream movie. As a general slasher movie, it's okay. It follows the general formula. But this is a Scream movie. It's not supposed to follow the general formula. There's supposed to be some differences to set it apart from other slasher franchises. And here it's really just the same old stuff I've seen 1,000,000,000 times before, and I'm really bored of it. And honestly, I really couldn't wait for this film to end, as there were a lot of moments where I felt the film just dragged. And then we have Sidney Prescott's daughter. I did not care for this character, and the writers did not write her all that well. She really has no reason to exist except to give Sidney another reason to fight, but Sidney doesn't really do that effectively and doesn't really think about how she should protect her daughter in the best way. For example, without spoiling anything, there's a scene where Sidney goes off to try to figure out who the killer is and decides to leave her daughter and her husband, even though the killer has been targeting her daughter at this point. You know, the safest place for the daughter at this point would probably be by Sydney's side, as she has dealt with these killers more often than anyone else. And that's not only the dumb decision that returning characters make. There are a couple really dumb decisions that other returning characters, who I will not spoil who are in this movie, make. And I do not understand them. Like, you should know how this is going to play out at this point. You should know how to deal with it. At the end of the day, the Scream 7 and the Scream franchise as a whole, it just doesn't have anything left to give us. And to be honest, this franchise needs to be left alone for a while. As of right now, there is nothing interesting this franchise can deliver us. And I think it just needs a few years on the shelf. Anyway, that's my opinions on Scream 7. If you've seen it, what do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really want to make this channel successful. Anyway, I'm Baron Bones, and as usual, stay terrified.